Hey there guys, what's going on? I'm Vile Self, and I was just reading some news today and I was watching some videos, and there's a bunch of people that are basically bitching and accusing Sony of lying once again about exclusive content in certain games and resolutions and all this stuff. So I just kind of went back and rewatched a few of the Sony conferences and went tweet searching and all this stuff to find out what really has been going down, and if Sony's actually lying about this stuff. So I'm gonna start off. There's a few different accusations that have been made. So I'm gonna start off with No Man's Sky. Apparently Sony lied and said No Man's Sky is a PlayStation exclusive. So as you can see by this tweet right here by Hello Games, who's the developer of No Man's Sky, PlayStation exclusive was Game Trailer's phrase, not ours. No Man's Sky is having its console debut on PS4.
And will make its console debut on PS4. Please enjoy.
And there you see right there, Adam Boyes clearly states it'll make its console debut on the PS4. And then it starts showing footage of No Man's Sky. Nowhere did they say exclusively to PS4. They said console debut. It's all in the wording. It's called being smart. Smart advertising. Next, I'd just like to touch on Destiny a little bit. All these people are saying that Sony's claiming Destiny is exclusive on PS4. So here I have a screenshot here where it says 4 days exclusive beta access only on PlayStation. So it does say exclusive, it does say only on PlayStation, but it also says 4 days. It's right there, 4 days exclusive. So for 4 days, it's exclusive on PlayStation. That's not stretching the truth. That's not lying. That's not misleading anybody. It states it right there. 4 days exclusive beta access on PlayStation. People are starting to stretch this and saying that Sony's lying, claiming that the Destiny beta was exclusive on PlayStation. It says it right there. 4 days exclusive. Then you have the exclusive content. People are saying Sony lied, claiming that the extra content is exclusive to PlayStation. Well, look at that fine print underlined in red. It says right there, it's timed exclusivity. That means it's timed exclusive. It says it right there. Sony's not lying. You just gotta read the print. Sony's not the type of company that's gonna advertise for another company. They're not gonna say our DLC or extra weapons or extra maps or extra modes are coming to PlayStation, and then they're gonna come to Xbox later on. They're trying to promote their own console. So of course they're going to promote the timed exclusivity of these items, these in-game items, but they do list in their ad on their page where you can pre-order the game on the PlayStation Store that it's only a timed exclusive. It is there in fine print. Here, I even got a zoomed in picture so you can actually see it says timed exclusivity. Because I know some of you got bad eyes. You can't tell the difference between 720p and 1080p most of the time. So here it is. Timed exclusivity. How's that a lie? It says it right there. They're not claiming, they never did claim that it's pure exclusive content only on PlayStation 4. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Deeply immersive gameplay. Destiny will help define this next generation of gaming. Like so many of the world's biggest and best games, you'll be able to play Destiny first on PlayStation.
Just reiterating here, once again, he said first on PlayStation. He didn't say exclusively on PlayStation or only on PlayStation. He didn't say that at all. He clearly stated you'll be able to play Destiny first on PlayStation. He meant first with the alpha and first with the beta. Nowhere did he say exclusively on PlayStation.
Beautiful. And Abzu will make its exclusive console debut on PS4.
Once again, this is just another example. Abzu, he claims, is going to make its console debut on the PS4. They're not saying it's exclusive on PS4. They're saying its debut on consoles is exclusive on PS4. It's all in the wording, and it's all how you interpret the wording. If you think that console debut means exclusive on PS4, then that's your problem. You're just not listening properly. But that's not what he said. Then there are people who are claiming that Sony lied about Watch Dogs exclusive content being only exclusive on PS4. But I'm looking at this advertisement right here, and it says play exclusive missions first only on PlayStation. That's an operative word. Some of these phrasings in these advertisements have operative words in them. And these are words that you really got to pay attention to, because they actually make the whole thing mean something completely different. It's not exclusive missions only on PlayStation. It's exclusive missions first on PlayStation, which implies that these missions will be available second on other platforms. So you have to pay attention to this stuff, guys. You can't just skew everything Sony says. And if Sony's in a conference, or if they're doing a live presentation and they say something like, you'll be able to play exclusive missions on PlayStation, they don't have to come out and say that it's a timed exclusive mission. They don't have to do that, because from the time the game comes out until, you know, the mission is actually available on other platforms, it is exclusive. So they're not lying by saying it's exclusive. They don't have to advertise it as timed exclusive, because all they're doing by saying timed exclusive is advertising it for another platform as well. And Sony doesn't do that. They don't have to do that, and why would they do that? That's pretty much stupid. They want to promote their own platform. So they're going to talk and big up their own platform for exclusivity regarding DLC as if it's coming out on their own platform, and they're not going to advertise it for other people's platforms. It's pretty straightforward. But when you look at the advertisements, it clearly states it's first on PlayStation. And I've seen other Watch Dogs ads, which I couldn't find a link for or something, or an image, but I've seen it before where it says timed exclusivity under the bottom, much like the Destiny one I posted. So they're not trying to lie. They do put it in their ads that it's timed exclusive. So anybody that denies that is purely just delusional. Another thing I want to just touch on regarding Watch Dogs is, before Watch Dogs came out, Sony was advertising Watch Dogs on their website, and they put a little blurb about the game, and at the bottom it said you'll be able to enjoy it in full 1080p, 60 frames per second. Now, people got excited about that, and it was good news for everybody, you know, that was playing on the PlayStation. But then it was realized that the game's not going to be 1080p, and it's not going to be 60 frames per second on PS4. So what did Sony do? They took it down. They removed that information. They made a mistake, and they fixed it. But all these people are coming out saying that Sony lied about it. They deliberately lied to lead people on. So I'm sitting there thinking, if they lied and they wanted to lead people on, then why didn't they leave that information up there? If they deliberately wanted to lead people on, then they could have left that information on their website and still claimed that the game was 1080p 60 frames per second. I mean, if you're gonna lie, you might as well lie, right? But no, they realized their mistake and they fixed it. They adjusted the post, they removed the information that was inaccurate, and they fixed it. So I don't know how that's a lie. I mean, for all we know, Ubisoft could have told Sony that they were struggling hard to get 1080p 60, and maybe Sony was under the impression that it was going to happen, it was going to become a reality, so they advertise it as that. And then Ubisoft turns around and says, oh, Sora, we can only make it 900p, and it's going to run at 30 frames per second. Then Sony says, okay, shit, we got to remove that post and, fix that so people don't get led on. But people want to grasp at straws and try to find the worst, all the bad news that, Sony lied about this and lied about that, even though they rectified this situation. So I don't know how you can blame them for that. It doesn't make any sense to me. One final thing here I want to touch on before I go is the whole Killzone Shadows Fall running in sub 1080p, which people are claiming Sony lied about that as well. First off, Guerrilla Games was who claimed it was running in 1080p, and Sony just relayed that message. So Sony's telling the viewers, telling the gamers, telling us that are watching the conferences that the game runs in 1080p, both single player and multiplayer. And they're saying that because that's what Guerrilla Games told them. So when Digital Foundry or whoever counts some pixels on a couple of frames and notices that it's only in 900p or 862p or some weird bullshit like that, people start going crazy and saying Sony lied because the game is not full 1080p. Well, the thing is, it is full 1080p, and there was an article that was written on the Killzone Shadows Fall page by the developers that explains the techniques that are used. I have the blurb here. You can read it if you want to. I'll post the link for the full article in the description so you can read the whole thing if you want to. But there's just techniques that are used where I guess they have certain frames or certain elements of the graphics that are not rendered in full 1080p. But in all this technical mumbo jumbo that I really don't feel like getting into, and I don't even fully understand myself, it still outputs the game in full native 1080p. And I mean, like I said, you can read it for yourself. It wasn't a lie. The game is in 1080p. It's just certain frames of the game aren't in 1080p. But according to the article, from what I gather from it, a lot of game developers do this, and it's a technique that people use so they can output the game in, you know, better resolutions. They sacrifice a few frames here and there at lower resolutions, and those few frames are what these Digital Foundry guys counted and found less pixels than a full 1080p image. But anyways, I don't see how you can blame Sony for lying. Just to touch on another thing real quickly, the Battlefield Hardline beta, Adam Boyes claimed that the beta was in full 1080p 60 frames per second, and the Visceral Games developer who was standing right next to him on stage didn't correct him, didn't deny it, didn't say anything remotely about it at all. And basically, you know, I'm left to wonder why Adam Boyes said it was going to be 1080p 60 when apparently it's only like 900p and 40 frames per second or some shit like that. So, I mean, did Adam Boyes just come out and deliberately just pull this number out of his ass and just lie in front of a million people, you know, that the game's going to be 1080p 60? No, I'm pretty sure that somebody told him this behind the scenes and said, listen, we're aiming at 1080p 60. That's what our goal is. So, you know, feel free to say it. And perhaps he said it, and then it turns out that the game's only going to run 900p 40 frames per second or 30 frames per second or something like that. I don't know. Either way, you can't just blame the Sony guys for relaying a message. Sure, in a way you can, but you got to give the developers some of the clout too, because they're the ones that are conveying the message to Sony. They're the ones telling Sony how the game's coming along, what resolution the game's in, and what frames per second the game's in. Sony's not going to take that information and just skew it and change it and just fucking, you know, spread a big fat lie knowing full well that the internet's going to find them out. You know what I mean? So, anyways, regardless of whether or not you believe Sony's lying or not, I just provided some proof that they don't blatantly just lie to people's face. The evidence is there that, you know, you can find the information if you just read properly or listen with your ears and not skew and stretch things and try to, you know, manipulate the way Sony's marketing. But anyways, I just wanted to whip this video together. This video is probably pretty badly edited, but like I said, I just whipped it together just to get some points across. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm out now.